In this exact moment, as your hands hold this device and your eyes scan these words, something extraordinary is happening right before you, something invisible, something so subtly powerful that it has shaped empires, raised fortunes, and transformed ordinary people into legends of history. This phenomenon, this silent power, is the energetic field of your thoughts, and at this precise instant, they are already sculpting the monument of your existence. The world you live in today, every aspect of it, the job you have, the relationships you cultivate, the bank account you check, the reflection you find in the mirror, is nothing more than the physical manifestation of an invisible process that began long before. It began with a thought, a conviction, an idea that was nurtured, protected, and strengthened until it became an irresistible force. Think about the invisible that surrounds us, the electricity that illuminates this room, the radio waves that traverse the air, the gravity that keeps your feet firmly planted on the ground, invisible forces but undeniably real. And yet there is an even more powerful force that you possess, the power of thought concentrated with defined purpose. When Thomas Edison faced darkness, he didn't see the absence of light. He saw a problem that demanded a solution. While others saw only failure after failure, he perceived each attempt as a necessary step in the journey. More than 10,000 frustrated attempts were not evidence of impossibility, but rather his map to the inevitability of success. Where did the light bulb exist first? In Edison's mind, long before the filament even glowed. Henry Ford didn't merely invent an automobile. He materialized a vision that first existed only as thought. When he said the customer could have any color, as long as it was black, he wasn't limiting possibilities. He was concentrating mental energy into a single point, like a lens that focuses sunlight until it reaches the temperature to start a fire. This is the first truth that you must understand with unshakable conviction. Your thoughts are already, at this very moment, creating your future with a mathematical precision that bewilders the common mind. Your current condition is not your destiny. It is simply the cumulative result of the thoughts you have habitually fed until today. But here is the secret that the mediocre will never understand. Transforming your life doesn't require decades. It demands only the precise moment when you decisively change the pattern of your thoughts. Like the needle of a compass that, when reoriented even by 1 degree, completely transforms the final destination of the journey. Have you observed how certain people seem to magnetize success and abundance, while others, equally talented, remain paralyzed in mediocrity? The difference rarely lies in talent or opportunity. The difference lies in the invisible orientation of their predominant thoughts. Successful people execute a distinct mental process. They cultivate with deliberate precision thoughts impregnated with positive expectation, decisive action, and unshakable faith. When Andrew Carnegie, the man who became the richest in the world starting from nothing, shared the secret of his fortune with Napoleon Hill, he didn't talk about negotiation techniques or investment strategies. He talked about a mental principle, the ability to create a definite purpose and maintain it with absolute obstinacy against all of life's storms. Observe the world around you. Every building that touches the skies, every technological innovation that transforms society, every fortune built. Everything began as a simple thought in the mind of someone who refused to live by the average. Someone who understood that the invisible realm of thoughts is where all battles for wealth, recognition, and achievement are first won or lost. What you mentally consume, what you focus your attention on, the conversations you allow inside your own head, these are the silent architects of your destiny. And here lies a truth that the common fear to face. Your thoughts are not random events triggered by circumstances. Your thoughts are choices They are tools. They are weapons in the arsenal of your deliberate evolution. The subconscious mind, this infinitely powerful computer that processes millions of bits of information every second, does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. This is your hidden advantage. When you understand that you can program this system with selective thoughts, with vivid mental images of success and abundance, you discover the hidden switch of personal transformation. Walt Disney went bankrupt multiple times, but while others would see financial ruin, he simply saw a character in his life script overcoming obstacles. His temporary misery was not his destiny. It was merely a necessary plot to build the hero of his own story. The empire he built was not erected with concrete and steel. It was built first in the invisible realm of thoughts, impregnated with creative imagination. Mundane people look at their current situation and ask, "Why me?" The extraordinary look at their idealized future and affirm, "Why not me?" The difference between these two groups is not in external circumstances, but in the quality and direction of their predominant thoughts. Let's be absolutely clear. Your brain is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you alive. It's a primitive survival instrument that, without conscious direction, naturally inclines toward the negative, toward caution, toward fear. And this is precisely the reason why most people live lives of quiet desperation. They simply allow their default mental programming to drive the vehicle of their life. But you, who seek to master the invisible, must do something radically different. You must take conscious control of your thoughts, as a maestro controls his orchestra. You must deliberately select, with relentless determination, the thoughts that will occupy the sacred space of your consciousness. How? It begins with a fundamental truth. What you resist persists. What you face dissolves. Don't fight negative thoughts. That only amplifies their influence. Instead, consciously replace them with thoughts of power, growth, and abundance. Your mind is a garden. Thoughts are seeds. You may not control the birds of negative thoughts that fly over your head, but you can certainly prevent them from nesting in your hair. The quality of your mental garden depends entirely on the constant vigilance of the gardener, you. And here is what transforms this philosophy from mere theory into practical power: conscious repetition. When you deliberately maintain a thought, a vision, an affirmation, repeatedly, emotionally, vividly, you literally reconfigure the neural connections of your brain. The invisible becomes visible first in the physical structure of your brain, then in the circumstances of your life. Abraham Lincoln ascended from the log cabins of extreme poverty to the White House not by some external advantage, but by the uncommon quality of his thoughts. When everything indicated defeat, loss of loved ones, business failures, political defeats, his thoughts remained firmly anchored in principles, growth, and service. The man who led a nation through its darkest hour was forged in the invisible long before his name was engraved in history. Modern science now confirms what the great philosophers have always known. Your thoughts literally reconfigure your brain through neuroplasticity. Each time you consciously choose a thought of abundance instead of scarcity, of possibility instead of limitation, you strengthen specific neural pathways. Over time, these paths become mental highways, preferred routes that your brain travels automatically. Here is the key to starting your transformation. You must define with crystal clarity what you want. Vagueness generates vague results. Precision generates precise results. Write your definite purpose with details so vivid that you can taste it, feel it, touch it on the screen of your mind. Then you must revisit this vision daily, not as a mechanical exercise, but as a sacred ritual of conscious programming. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Silence the external world. Close your eyes and project onto the screen of your mind the highest version of yourself and your life. See yourself already in possession of that fortune, that position, that achievement, not as an exercise in fantasy, but as a deliberate act of command for your subconscious. Andrew Carnegie didn't become the richest man in the world thinking about scarcity. Rockefeller didn't build an empire thinking about limitations. Steve Jobs didn't revolutionize multiple industries thinking about conformity. In each case, these titans mastered first the invisible realm of thoughts before conquering the visible realms of the material world. But be clear, this is not a passive exercise. The power of thoughts without the energy of action is like owning a Ferrari without gasoline. Impressive, but useless. Each thought of power must be followed by an action of power. Each mental vision must manifest in physical movement. The universe responds not only to what you think, but to what you do as a result of those thoughts. Here is the infallible formula. Dominant thoughts, impregnated with emotion, crystallized in belief, translated into persistent action, inevitably manifest corresponding results. This is the science of achievement, not the art of hope. Fear, doubt, anxiety. These are the invisible saboteurs that you must identify and neutralize. They are like viruses in the operating system of your mind. Recognize them not as truths, but as programming that can and must be replaced. When fear arises, don't deny its existence. Recognize it, thank it for the information, then deliberately replace it with a thought of power. Understand this principle that the common will never understand. Your conscious mind is the guardian, the gatekeeper. Your subconscious is the loyal servant that executes orders without questioning. What you repeatedly allow into your consciousness eventually penetrates the subconscious, where it transforms into automatic command, into destiny. And the most powerful catalyst for this transfer? Emotion. Thoughts charged with emotion penetrate more quickly into the subconscious. This is the secret by which some transform their lives rapidly while others remain eternal students without practical results. It's not enough to think. You must feel with absolute intensity. Visualize your success not as a distant observer, but as an active participant. Feel the emotion of achievement. Experience anticipatory gratitude. Let tears of realization run down your face even before the external world reflects your inner vision. This is not fantasy. It's conscious programming of the invisible that will inevitably manifest in the visible. The world you see is merely a reflection of the world you are. Your external reality is a faithful mirror of your internal reality. Consciously alter your predominant thoughts, and you will inevitably alter your external world, not by magic, but by the consistent application of the law of mental cause and effect. And here is the truth that few have the courage to face. No one is coming to save you. No government, no employer, no partner, no mentor. Your liberation, your prosperity, your fulfillment, everything begins and ends with the quality of thoughts that you consciously choose to harbor and nurture. The ordinary person waits for external circumstances to change to feel better. The master of the invisible understands that they must change their inner world first, their thoughts, their beliefs, their expectations, and then watch in admiration as the outer world reorganizes to align with the new mental frequency. Every great fortune, every remarkable achievement begins as a thought sustained with unwavering fervor against all contrary evidence. When Ray Kroc saw a small hamburger restaurant of the McDonald brothers, he didn't just see a successful local establishment. He saw a global empire that didn't yet exist, except in his mind. And that thought, sustained against doubts, against criticism, against initial failures, eventually manifested as one of the greatest business success stories in modern history. You are constantly broadcasting a mental frequency through your dominant thoughts. And like a precisely tuned radio, the universe responds by sending back circumstances, people, and opportunities that vibrate at the same frequency. When you understand this truth, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a conscious architect of your reality. An essential principle that you must internalize: the quality of your questions determines the quality of your life. Weak questions like, "Why does this always happen to me?" produce weak answers. Powerful questions like, "How can I transform this challenge into my greatest opportunity?" activate mental resources that would otherwise remain dormant. Your mind functions exactly like a supercomputer. It will find answers to any question you persistently ask. If you ask why you don't deserve success, your mind will find all the evidence to confirm this belief. If you ask how you can create extraordinary value and unlimited abundance, your mind will redirect your focus to solutions and opportunities that have always been there, just invisible to your previous perception. Andrew Carnegie, the man who inspired Napoleon Hill to write Think and Grow Rich, did not possess extraordinary skills or special advantages. What he possessed was an extraordinary quality of thought, an absolute conviction that he could create wealth through valuable service, efficient organization, and unwavering faith. While others saw steel, he envisioned a nation being built. While others saw obstacles, he perceived only temporary problems awaiting profitable solutions. What do you perceive when you look at your current life? Do you see limitations or lessons? Do you see walls or portals? The difference is not in what objectively exists, but in the quality of thoughts through which you filter your reality. The true battle is never external. It is internal. It is the daily struggle to maintain thoughts aligned with your highest desires, not with your deepest fears. It is the moment-to-moment commitment to refuse entry to doubts that inevitably arise when you aim for greatness. Your mind is literally a magnetic field. Your dominant thoughts are the frequency this field emits. Consistently alter your thoughts, and you literally alter the energy field that determines what you attract or repel in life. This is not abstract philosophy. It is physics applied to human progress. The great leaders of history understood and applied this principle. When Martin Luther King Jr. proclaimed, "I have a dream," he wasn't merely expressing a desire. He was crystallizing a thought with such clarity and conviction that millions could see it too, creating a collective force powerful enough to reshape a nation. And this brings us to the essential discipline that separates those who merely wish from those who actually achieve: relentless mental vigilance. You must monitor your thoughts as a tireless guardian. You must notice when limiting thoughts arise and immediately replace them with thoughts of power. The common man or woman wastes approximately 70% of their mental time reliving past mistakes or worrying about future scenarios that will never happen. The extraordinary, those who transform industries, build empires, revolutionize societies, direct more than 70% of their mental energy toward active visualization, strategic planning, and creative problem-solving. To which category do you direct your mental energy? Are you building a temple of possibilities or a prison of limitations? Your thoughts are creating your future at this very moment, regardless of whether you are conscious of the process or not. The choice, the only one that truly matters, is yours. To master the invisible or to be mastered by it. To become a conscious architect of your reality or to remain an unconscious victim of forces that you fail to understand and control. And in this precise moment, as these words resonate in your mind, you have an extraordinary opportunity to decide with crystal clarity and unwavering conviction that from this instant your thoughts will be your servants, not your masters. That every thought you harbor will be deliberately selected to align with your highest vision, not with your deepest fears. This decision, seemingly simple, profoundly transformative, is the first step to mastering the invisible, to deliberately and consciously create the fortune you deserve. For your thoughts are already, at this exact moment, creating your tomorrow. The only question is, will you be a conscious participant or a passive observer of this process? The choice is yours, and it always has been.